Has the balance of power between students and educators at America's universities been completely reversed? That's the question raised when an NYU organic chemistry professor was fired after 82 of his students signed a petition complaining that his course, a medical school prerequisite in many cases, was too hard. Professor Maitland Jones Jr. is a legend in the field, having taught for decades first at Princeton, then at NYU. He wrote an influential 1,300-page textbook now in its 5th edition and has garnered many awards. But last spring, as the campus emerged from COVID restrictions, 82 of the 350 students in his large lecture course, unhappy with their test scores, signed a petition against him. It read in part, "We are very concerned about our scores and find that they are not an accurate reflection of the time and effort put into this class. We urge you to realize that a class with such a high percentage of withdrawals and low grades has failed to make students' learning and well-being a priority and reflects poorly on the chemistry department as well as the institution as a whole." Jones defended his standards. But just before the start of the fall semester, NYU deans terminated Dr. Jones' year-to-year contract in a short note saying that his performance, quote, "did not rise to the standards we require from our teaching faculty." In a grievance protesting the decision, Jones wrote that, quote, "students were misreading exam questions at an astonishing rate, and that grades had been declining despite him making tests easier. And during the pandemic, which involved pre-taped lectures and online exams, the grades, quote, fell off a cliff." According to the Times, students expressed surprise that Jones was fired, which their petition did not call for, and which they didn't think was even possible. By the way, the estimated total cost for an NYU student matriculating for this school year, $83,250. Joining me now to discuss is Jill Filipovich, a columnist for CNN.com, where her latest is, "This fired chemistry professor's example shows what's wrong with academia." She's also the author of the book, "Okay, Boomer, Let's Talk: How My Generation Got Left Behind." Jill, I was thinking, if I'm the dean of admissions at a med school, and now I get an applicant from NYU, like, what am I to think of that transcript?
I don't think that this should cast doubt on the intelligence or the abilities of NYU students. I mean, to me, this story is much more about what is academia for? What are institutions of higher learning for? Are they consumer products or are they public goods? And I think, unfortunately here, the NYU administration has treated the education that NYU offers more as a consumer product, trying to please not just students, but frankly, their parents who hold the purse strings of tuition dollars, rather than asking, how do we most effectively provide an education for our students and make sure that we have professors that are teaching effectively?
Overwhelmingly, the reaction that I have seen to this story is one that regards it as ridiculous. So let me give you the flip side. This comes from today's print edition of the New York Times. Jessica Calarco is a professor of sociology at Indiana University. I'm going to put it on the screen, but I'll read it to you because you probably can't see that. Here's what the professor says. "Imagine, for example, a student whose high school offered no advanced chemistry classes, who is the first in her family to go to college and who, in addition to her studies, has to work 20 hours a week to pay bills. Imagine also that this student doesn't have a reliable laptop or Wi-Fi at her apartment, so she has to do her work in a computer lab or on her phone. Now compare her to the classmate who took multiple AP science courses, who has no financial obligations, and who has all the learning tools he needs. They may sit right next to each other in that Orgo class, but their backgrounds place them miles apart." Do you find that sympathetic? Does that make you more inclined to side with the students in this case?
I do find that quite sympathetic. You know, I don't really see this as students versus professors. The Washington Square News, which is NYU's student newspaper, has a really great editorial about this exact situation, where they, I think, give a bit more context to the story, which, again, is to say that students were not demanding the professor was fired. What they were asking for was more effective teaching methods. And I think that the Times piece that you read is correct. I mean, students are coming to a place like NYU with all kinds of different backgrounds. And an institution like NYU, which has incredible resources and has a mission to educate young people, should be trying to meet those students where they're at and help them to succeed. That doesn't mean it needs to help all of them pass organic chemistry, right? Some classes are tough for a reason. Organic chemistry is a class that is supposed to weed students out. But if this particular organic chemistry course was, for example, failing many, many, many more students than the other organic chemistry courses NYU has on offer, I do think it's worth the university asking why that might be and trying to figure out a way to make sure that no matter which section of organic chemistry students are in, that they're getting a similar education and a high quality education and not being kind of handheld, but also not being, inappropriately punished essentially for enrolling in the wrong class or a too difficult class.
What I like about this story is he's an old guy. He's 82. God bless him for still teaching at that age and being so sharp intellectually to be able to teach organic chemistry where he wrote the textbook. But he provides us a constant. I'm sure his lectures haven't changed over the years, nor his grading methods, which I think says something's changed in the students. By the way, for whom I'm sympathetic because of COVID. I need to know how you're answering this week's survey question. Catherine, can you put that up on the screen? So here's what I'm asking people. Would your choice of physician be impacted if you knew they struggled with undergraduate organic chemistry? And Jill, what I'm trying to get at is, like, when I'm all for inclusion and equality and great opportunity for us all. But truthfully, when I go to get a physician or medical exam or treatment, I want the smartest, best individual out there. And if somebody struggled for whatever reason on organic chemistry, I don't know, I'd be a little nervous.
Yeah, I think, of course, all of us want to make sure that the folks who are going into the healthcare profession, are able to do things like pass organic chemistry. And I think that you're right, that there has been a shift in student performance, right, over the last decade or so. And Professor Jones has observed that. I do think it's worth inquiring why that is. Jones also pointed out that while he had seen kind of a downward shift in student performance over the last decade, things, I think he used the phrase, fell off a cliff during COVID. That's really useful and important information to have. And I do think, it's not up to NYU to then say, well, we're going to lower standards and make this easier for students. But I do think it is up to, of course, universities, also high schools and the kind of down the line to figure out, how do we start to reverse some of these changes? How do we make sure that the education we're giving our young people is very high quality so that the rest of us, when we go to the doctor, can be sure that we're getting a physician who is not only quite well educated, but was able to succeed, was able to do well.